Lydia, I'm the director, that's Lucy, she's the producer, and Charlotte is the camera operator. So basically our idea is to create a live action horror adaptation of Snow White, because we've all been fans of Disney forever, and me and Charlotte in particular like horror as well, so we want to compromise and kind of put the ideas together to make this trailer. So the play we would make would be about a serial killer, so in order to present this in a trailer, we would use Charlotte's cellar as a creepy kind of place, as like her cottage, kind of. And it would be references to the original play because there'll be metaphors of the seven dwarfs, which Charlotte will go on to explain a bit later. And there'll be an apple that will basically have blood, and it'll just be kind of creepy and sinister. Our target audience will not be children, obviously. It'll be 16 and older of all genders, because horror is appealing to most people. So yeah, Charlotte will now talk about the influences.
So first of all, we really liked this image. It was the first image that we found. We really liked the reflection in the mirror and how there's beauty on the outside, but then within there's all this disgusting and mouldy stuff, and that represents the Queen. And our main influence was actually Insidious, because our favourite bit of the trailer is the torch scene when they're walking around the house. So we've really included this into our trailer because it's all spotlight from the the torch walking around in the cellar. So yeah, this is our shot list, and then for our storyboard we've got the walking around the cellar with the torch, and then we'll put the camera behind the teacup, like a point of view shot, and the torch will find the teacup. And then there's the teacup, and the bits around it are 6 smashed up teacups, which represents the 6 dwarfs that have fallen, and there's only 1 dwarf left. And then as we get closer to the teacup, we see that it's full of blood, and we pan up again and we hear a smash, and then we see the teacup smash with loads of blood. And what we'd like to do is for the blood to make an apple shape, and then we'll get some straws and blow it out so it makes that kind of shape, and then we'll put it in reverse so it almost looks like the drops of blood are going into the apple shape, like that. And then there's a blackout, and then this will represent Snow White's arm. It will pan across the arm that is covered in blood, and then we'll see the apple at the end and the name Bitten. And this is just some photos we took. We realised that the torch needed to be a little bit brighter because we didn't really feel that it was bright enough, so we'll definitely use that in the actual thing, and the apple will be red.
We did a location recce in Charlotte's cellar, and we've decided to film there because it looks eerie and dark and mysterious, and it's an empty room, so there won't be as many hazards there. There are some photos. We've also done a risk assessment, including things like trip hazards, slip hazards, and the dangers of the sharp objects.
We did a colour palette, this is the... we wanted to use references to the original Disney film, so kind of blues and reds, but in a darker shade to make it more sinister and gothic. And we wanted some references to the original film with the colours as well, to, for a sense of nostalgia for anyone who's watched it before, to keep that kind of, yeah, there. That's the picture.
We've got a little bit of a list, just the things we need and the prices, just to make sure it was all affordable, and we've got the links to where we're going to get it from.
Thanks for listening.
Oh, nice one. Yeah, I think what you've got there is like a really really strong idea. I really like that you're going for that sort of fairy tale kind of sinister thing. I think that sort of stuff is, just has a really nice edge to it, and it's good that you've identified a location where you can get quite a lot of production value out of it. Some of the things that jump out to me when you were talking, like especially when you're on that opening image that you have behind your kind of title, that sort of like pastel-y picture of Snow White. There's something about that I really like, and I wonder whether it might be worth thinking about some of the elements in that image, whether they can help you out in terms of how you approach things. And I can sort of elaborate on that a bit more. So something that I think of when I think of Snow White, or as you were talking, I was getting images in my head that were all actually really quite clean, you know, like really kind of like clean in terms of the colour palettes. I can't remember the perfume advert, but there was one that was almost restricted into whites and pinks and red, you know, which really is really striking. And thinking further about what I like about that is that, and it ties up with your storyboards, is that, you know, like the apples and stuff, they've got like a real glass-like sort of quality to them where they're just really clean and really sharp. And I wonder whether exploring some of those aesthetics really, and then contrasting them with whatever horror you've got going on in there might be a nice way to really push it across and get, you know, just make a really big impression. So yeah, you've really inspired me to think about what you're aiming for, and I think you're sitting on a mass of stuff that you could really play with. So if you're up for exploring it further and really like doing tests and stuff, I would advise it, because I think you could have something really strong there. And actually everything you've got there is really clear. I really like the images that you found. I think we've done a really good job. So I won't waffle too much. Time, but yeah, really inspiring.
Yeah. Can I just ask a question? Would you have music over
Yeah.
it? Or
Yeah.
We've got the original soundtrack we actually thought was quite creepy because it's from, was it the 1940s or something?
Yeah, the Disney film, the with a smile and a song. We
The
really
voice
thought.
is very high, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
And
It's already quite sinister, just as it is. So
if
probably,
you take it that way.
yeah, we really did. So yeah,
you
probably use that.
You probably want to find things that really identify the story as well, because there's a chance that you might not associate it with Snow White. So find some things that really sing and show that.
I agree, and if you can do that, you know, in terms of selling something through a trailer, it's really exciting to have something that you know well and is very familiar, but you're presenting it in a completely different way, and matching those two things would be really exciting. Yeah, it's great, and I'm with you. If you haven't seen it, I would suggest you watch 7 for all the kind of moody, torchlit